may be too high. I may be too high with this. Let me bring this down. Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm too high, so I'm bringing myself down so I can be a little bit lower. I hope that helps. Oh, shit. Look at me forgetting to put my mic on. I forgot to mute things. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me get my life together. I gotta get my life together. I've got a lot of things on the go. And so I feel like I'm going back to back to back to back to back between all the things I have to do. But I love my show so much that I am, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to try to show up to do this show that I love oh so much. So again, thank you guys for joining. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Please tell me you can hear me. Can you let me know if you can hear me? Because I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I just want to make sure. I'm actually also going to go in and make sure I can hear myself. Okay, I can hear myself, so that is awesome. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes for people to come in, but I hope everybody had a super amazing long weekend. And if you had kids who went back to school, I hope they went back to school safely and happy, and that things went well. If you have kids that are finishing up university or high school, happy last year to them, because they're about to enter true adulthood, and they should enjoy being a child for as long as possible. This show was inspired by a clip I got sent, and it was a simple clip, but it really made me start having to look at sometimes how, as women, we act as if, number one, we don't know basic things, and number two, we need to tell a man how to act. Like, ladies, we never need to tell a man who wants us how to act, right? Like, that man is going to show up the way he's going to show up for you. So all of these things that I'm seeing women saying, like, this is, fellas, if you want me, come correct. Yeah. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to bring this again lower. Sorry, guys. I am thinking that my phone is a little too high, so I'm going to bring it a little lower, and hopefully that helps. I simulcast on YouTube as well, and because they have different views, so I'm never sure. Anywho, not important. We will figure that out as long as you guys can see me. So this clearly is for the ladies, because again, like I say, I don't speak to men because I'm not a man. Until there's another person sitting beside me, I am going to speak to the ladies. And I was inspired to do the show because of, like I said, a clip I saw earlier, and I was thinking about all of the titles that I could use for the show, and it just came to me. And it was like, I went for a walk and I came back, and I was like, the title needs to be Stop Acting Stupid for Dick. As women, and studies have shown, not even just as women, as studies have shown that there are certain parts of our life where women are smarter than men, right? We mature before men do. There are all of the studies that we can show that were done by men, that to a certain point, we mature faster, we can be smarter, and then eventually balances out, and then it goes from there, right? However, doesn't matter what degrees we have, what accolades we have, there are a bunch of us running around acting stupid for dick. We act like we don't have any damn sense when it comes to penis. And I'm not even just talking about dick, I'm really talking about men in general. But we act real stupid, like we act brand new, as if we don't know the game. Yet we'll sit and we'll tell each other just how smart we are and how dumb men are. And for the women who use the word that I don't use, but they'll be like, ninjas ain't this and ninjas ain't that. But put a ninja in front of you that you want, and you're like, I don't know, because you're acting dumb for dick. So I'm going to play the clip that inspired this. And again, I don't know why, like, what this woman was saying, like, irritated me. But first of all, I don't like when, as women, we do PSAs for men, because about how they should act. It's one thing to do a PSA for a man, to be like, this is the type of man I want. And if you're this type of man, come. But to try to tell men how to be men, I have a problem. So this young woman put out this PSA, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. I'm going to bring it close.
This is a quick PSA to the brothers. If you have my number and I respond favorably to your text messages and phone calls, you already shot your shot and it went in. If you DM me and I don't gracefully curve you, meaning I'm not hitting you with the prayer hand emoji, I'm hitting you with actual sentences, you shot your shot and it went in. I really don't understand this, like, timid, unserious, unintentional behavior. You get my number just to say, we should link up sometime. We should. I have to take the lead in every area of my life because I have to. These are modern times. But I don't want to have to take the lead in regards to relationships. I honestly prefer to relinquish control and allow the man to steer the ship and navigate. You feel me? So I'm not planning no dates. Just tell me how I need to be dressed and what time I need to be ready. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. I know the brothers don't want to come off as creeps and what have you, but if you already got her number or you already in her DMs and she LOLing and smiley face emojis and laughing and responding favorably, go ahead and just tell her where y'all gonna go eat and what time it's gonna be. And I'm telling you, that direct approach is gonna work every time. This is a quick PSA to the brothers.
Please give me a thumbs up if you heard that, or just heard it or something, to let me know you heard it so I don't have to replay it. I'm looking at both platforms. Okay, so I'm guessing you guys did hear that. Ladies, I'm going to translate a couple of things. And this has come from men that I know. A man who's intentional generally is not using the terms, let's link up. Let's link up means I want to fuck. There is no intentionality between let's link up. A man sliding into your DM and saying, let's link up, is probably not the man who's being intentional. A man getting your phone number and texting you after a few exchanges and saying, let's link up, is not a man who needs to be intentional. You don't need to push men, ladies, forward towards you, because the man who wants you will take steps towards you. I listen to these ladies, and clearly she's saying this because that's what she's experiencing, and very likely people around her are having similar experiences. But the question is why? Why is that your experience? Could it be that you're choosing to give your attention to people who don't deserve it? Could that be it? This is a woman who's saying, I need to be a boss in every area of my life. Like, I need to do this in this parts because these are modern times, and I need to do this. And she's probably, out there killing it at work. It looks like she was sitting in a very nice car. But somehow, when it comes to dick, she got real stupid. Because why would you use the word intentional with a man who you feel you need to push towards you? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. I have, in my life experience, have never met a man who wanted more with me that I had to show him how to try to get with me. Ask him out on a date. Plan the date. God forbid, pay for the date. Okay? Never. When I hear words like let's link up, I say, please elaborate on what link up means to you. Please define what that means. Let's link up. Let's make it a little bit more than that. So when you say let's link up, sir, what exactly does that mean to you? And I need him to explain to me what let's link up is. I'm not going to take his let's link up as to mean I want to court you, I want to date you, I want to potentially get exclusive with you. I'm not assuming anything. I want him to tell me with his own mouth what let's link up means. I also do not go out with men who ask me out through DMs. You know why? Because Instagram gives you all of the tools that you need to call someone and to video call someone. You do not need to even give people your phone number anymore because Instagram has video call and it has phone. So even if you're a little bit tentative about giving up your phone number to Stranger Man has options of ways to try to get to know you and pursue you to the point where he can get your phone number and call you offline. So there's no need for him, if he's trying to be intentional about you, to ask you out via DM. He can call you on Instagram and video call you. You can do that video call thing back and forth for a month if you need before you're comfortable with giving that man your phone number or whatever the case might be. So let's stop misinterpreting intentionality or lack of intentionality. That energy when he's just trying to hit. And he's going to go around and play the numbers game. We're not special sometimes, and it's okay. There are times I have not been special. I have been one of many, and they go through the list and figure out which one's going to hit. I can't be mad at him for that. I need to be looking at me. So this, oh, you know what, guys, I need you to be serious if I give you my number and I do this and I do that. Listen, I had a guy who I probably went on a date with in 2018. I'm going to go as far back as 2018. So there's the other day, a guy hit me up from a date. We went on one date. He was in town from New York. We went on one date in 2018. I have maybe heard from him once since 2018. He hit me up. His number was no longer in my phone. Messaged me on some "What's up, Toshiba?" I was like, who's this? I didn't have his number in my phone. Then I saw his WhatsApp picture and realized who it was, but I was like, who is this? He's like, oh, you probably don't remember who I am because it's been a while. Yeah, it is. So it was around Caravana weekend. You're probably in town. You want to reach out to whomever you can and try to hit, and you thought that I was the one. I gave him no energy. I said, I appreciate you for reaching out. He's like, I just want to see how you were doing. I said, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. God bless you. Go with God. I gave no energy. Because if that man really wanted to pursue or wanted to be intentional, he would have come and said, hey, it's been a while. We had gone out years ago. This and the next thing. I happened to be in town. I was thinking about you. I really enjoyed our date from a few years ago. I cannot get you out of my mind. I'd love to see if we can sit down and connect to see if there's something there. That's intentionality. Intentionality does not look like let's link up. And we damn well know this. Okay, let me, because you know, everyone's a boss these days, right? And as ladies, some of us are bosses. We're running around. We got the boss titles. We got the boss suits. We got the boss thing, right? Like, I am a boss. Someone reports to me. I've had up to 13 people report to me. Like, I'm a boss. I've been a boss. It is what I do. Now, let me be clear. Why is it that we understand that when our work is grooming us to move up in the ranks, that there's certain steps that they take, right? There's promotions. They'll invest into you through mentorship. Maybe they might send you to take a particular course because they want you to get a certain skill set so you can oversee a certain department or be the lead on a certain project or whatever it might be. Like, there's an investment that your work will give to you. And then when you get to that point, they give you a promotion that comes with a raise. And there's all of these things that happen when a workplace is investing with you and they're intentional about where your career path should be with their company. They do all of this stuff. You do not have to, when a workplace sees potential in you, go ahead and ask them to invest in you. You don't generally have to ask them what the career path. They will sit you down and say, Toshiba, where would you like to go with this company? We see potential in you, and we want to make sure that we're creating a plan that you can get to the next level, because we wouldn't want to lose you as an employee, right? Because they don't want you leaving them to go to potentially their competitor, another organization, and have that organization flourish. So they put it and they invest into you. So how is it that many of us understand that? And if we want to go far in a company and they're not investing in us in the way we think they should, what do? We go and we freshen up our resume. We start taking coffee chats. We reach out to our network. We spread a wide net and let people know that we're looking, that we're on the market, because we see that this workplace is not investing in us and we're not going to reap any benefits from the time we're putting into it. So we understand all of that. But we feel that we need to tell men how to be intentional with us. We get cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it comes to some dick. Men do not have to be told nothing. A man does not need to tell you, need to be told to ask you what restaurant to be taken to. A man does not need to be told to make reservations. A man does not need to be told to pick you up. A man does not need to be told to text you in the morning and at night. A man does not need to be told to ask you how your day was. A man does not need to be told to ask you about your future plans and where you see yourself. Like, a man does not need to be told none of that. Because men know how to be intentional with women that they want. Can we just admit sometimes that the men we want don't want us? And so it isn't that they're not being intentional. It's just that they don't give a fuck. If you hang out with them, great. If you don't hang out with them, that's okay too. Because you're just one in the line of many women for which they spread a wide net. Ladies, we make this stuff really complicated for ourselves when it's very simple. There is no intentionality when a man says, let's link up. And if you're expecting intentionality from that, that's on you. And if you want to see how unintentional he is, let him elaborate on what does let's link up mean. And some of them will and some of them will straight up say, listen, I'm just trying to, have a little situationship, a little friends with benefit. Like, I'm single, you're single, let's do this thing. But he's not going to necessarily straight up come out and tell you that. So if you misconstrue the fact that he doesn't give a fuck for the fact that he's not being intentional, and then you have him sweat on top of you, and then once he's done and he comes and he's like, ooh, whose fault is that? That is not his. We are honestly, ladies, I love us. I am a woman. I am proud to be a woman. I love being a woman. I especially love being a Black woman. But I'm going to tell you, sometimes it's damn hard sitting here as a Black woman when I hear some of the other shit coming out of Black women's mouths. Like, are you hearing yourself speak? Do you understand the words that are coming out of your own mouth? Have you ever stopped to ask a man about men? Because I do. I had a father, rest in peace, Daddy. I have a stepbrother. I've had cousins where I grew up with. I've had friends, platonic male friends that I speak to. I've had exes. And they've given me the game on men. I don't pretend to know about men, but I damn well know about women. And I know that we're really out here really trying to tell men how to be men, when the reality is those men you're telling just don't give a fuck about you. Get out of your ego. There are plenty of men who don't give a fuck about me. They want fuck. They don't care about my career path and my dreams and my goals and the books that I've written and the book I'm about to read and the shows that I do and the fact that my daughter is graduating on the dean's list and the fact that I have a 3 to 5 year plan to be able to do X, Y, and Z. They don't care. And I'm not going to get them to care. Because they simply do not. I do not need to push their hand to be intentional. They will choose to be intentional with the woman they want. Ladies, we really need to be looking. Here's the thing. Have some of you ever wondered why you dated a man for several years and then he gets in his next relationship and he marries that woman? So you're with a man for 5-6 years and he meets a woman within like 12 to 18 months, he marries her. Did he waste your time for 5 to 6 years? Or did you waste your time for 5 to 6 years? Who did that? We are responsible for every choice we make. The men we open our legs to, all on us. The men we choose to have babies with, on us. The men we choose to give our time to, on us. And unless those men are blatantly lying to your face, it is on you. Thank you, the Trump team. All on you. Most men, let me be very clear, are not lying to us. They're not lying. They're telling us the truth and we don't want to hear it. His actions are telling you everything you need to know. He doesn't check up on you. He doesn't ask you about the future. Doesn't ask you about your goals. Don't ask you about your kids. He can give a fuck about them kids. He waits to know when they can go to bed so he can come over and fuck. That's what he cares about. Doesn't care about how their first day of school was. Not his kids. Why does he care? Their mother is just giving him free vagina. So, perfect. Nothing about his actions. Nothing about his actions have shown you intentionality. Yet we're then mad and saying, well, he didn't show up and he wasn't intentional. Girl, you weren't intentional about your damn self. How can a man be intentional about you when you are not intentional about yourself? Let me tell you, I'm gonna keep it real. I've been in a situation where I've been back and forth for months now about whether to have relations with my ex. Not my previous ex, not Rob, but an ex that's here in Toronto. Ever since Rob and I separated, I've gone back and forth. It's been 2.5 months about whether or not I need to do this because I have carnal desires that I would like met. But I was like, I'm good. I'm very, very good. My ex is very handsome, extremely handsome, and tall, all the things that I love. But he doesn't have any intentions about me right now. And we've had that conversation. He got out of a relationship. I got out of a relationship. Like, we literally got out of relationships like 4 weeks apart. Like, his was the beginning of the month. Mine was literally the last day of the month. We got out of a relationship. And he's like, yeah, we could do this. And we have mad love for each other. But the reality is he's not trying to get anything serious. And I'm smart enough to know that my feelings are tied to sex. And so having sex with him, despite knowing that right now he's not trying to be intentional about me, I'm going to get drawn into something that I'm not prepared for because I want a man who equally wants me. And so I have not. It's readily available. And I'm like, no, I'm fighting every urge because I have to show up intentional for myself. I can't be going cuckoo for Cocoa Puff because, ladies, let's really break it down. Most of us aren't getting jabbered down for hours, right? Most of us aren't getting sensual love making down our neck and a man is taking oil and rubbing it in our bodies and giving us massages and sucking on our toes and all of these things, and we're having love making that's lasting for 2 hours. He isn't running you a bubble bath. Most of us are not experienced. This is some rom-com. Most of us are lucky if we get a little licky downstairs for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then a little ooh for another 5 to 10 minutes if we're lucky. So all in all, we've got 10 to 20 minutes of relations. And that's all you're getting. You say you want all of these things, but you've given up all of the things that you want for 10 to 20 minutes of dick. And then a lot of us ended up feeling like crap. We have those regrets. Some of it happens immediately because once he and he rolls over and turns his back to you, he's not drawing you in. He's not making sure that you're good. He's not asking, babe, was that good for you? He's sweating on top of you, behind you, beside you, whatever position you were in. And then he was done. Aren't you tired of that? And then aren't you tired of blaming the man for doing to you what you allowed him to do to you? And then he was toxic because you allowed him to bring toxicity in your life. We got to be tired of this. We got to stop acting stupid for dick. There's a clarity that you get in your life when dick doesn't control you. And I am being a little vulgar tonight, Daddy, sorry. But I gotta use that word because it means more. Sorry, Daddy. But you've got to get to the point in your life that dick does not control you. That you can have the clarity to say, if he is not showing up in an intentional way, using intentional words, I don't want it around me. I'm not going to waste my energy. I'm not going to waste my time, because texting or calling or DMing or whatever it is that you're doing, waiting for him to call, whatever, that is valuable time that you're wasting for a potential 10 to 20 minutes. I find it hard to agree with us as women when we talk about how smart we are, we got it going on, and we're this, and we're bosses, and we're all of those different things, when that goes out the window for dick. I find that very difficult, because we wouldn't have that same attitude and invest that same time into our careers. You do not spend years studying. Imagine spending 4 years going to university, the short days and the long nights, and you do all of that, and you drop out of school a week before your finals in your 4th year. You said, fuck it. I really need that degree. Fuck that degree. I really need that degree. I know I've invested all of this time and this energy, but I'm not going to get the reward at the end, which is to get my degree, to be able to get a better job, live a better life, start a business, whatever it is that what you want to do. Ladies, we're not doing that. According to the stats, Black women are the most degreed. I don't know if I believe that stat, but that's neither here nor there, right? But we're going out there and we're getting educated, and we're putting in the investment, and we're putting in the time. Why don't we take that same approach to our love life? If I want something, I'm going to value the time that I'm using to get that thing. You don't need to tell your professor to teach you. That's what they're going to do. They're going to show up and they're going to teach you. So why do you feel we need to tell a man what to do when he wants you? We don't have to. And we need to take some of that ego out of our dating. I've wanted men that don't want me. Some of you have wanted men that don't want you. Some of you currently want men who don't want you. But you're still giving them your vagina, though. They want your vagina. Those same men who don't want me and everything that comes into Sheba, they will gladly take my vagina. And then here's the thing. I would love to say that, we're so hardcore and we can just separate sex and we can understand that it's, this the desires of both of us. Ladies, stop it. We're not built that way. We cannot beat biology. There's a reason women are mothers and men are fathers. Biologically, we're different. We were built to be the nurturers and the carers and all of that stuff. We take that same approach to men. And when a man has entered you and you have connected with him, you are not that hard. You're not just going to turn around and be like, oh, yeah, I'm good. Let me smoke the cigarette. You be out, my ninja. There is an impact on you. You may want to tell the world and your friends and whatever, I'm good, but inside, that shit is killing you. And I'm going to repeat it almost every week. We do not have sex with men we don't want to keep us unless you're a prostitute. Prostitutes have sex with men for money. But women who are not prostitutes, we do not have sex with men we do not want to keep us. It is something that we pull out of our bag of tricks, saying, hold on, this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't work. Oh, let me pull out the vagina, because that always works. No, the fuck it doesn't. It never works. It never works. Giving sex to a man who didn't want you in the first place is never going to work. Never. It doesn't matter if you give it on the first date, or the 5th date, or the 10th date, or he was your friend on the side and then you wanted to give him some after a few years. If he didn't want you, giving him sex isn't gonna work, because all you can do is then take the sex away. And what? I'm gonna show him, I'm gonna take the sex away. We're too smart to be that dumb for dick. There are so many women making so much money. 75, 85, 95, 100, regular women. I'm not talking about YouTube celebrities and TikTok celebrities or what kind of regular working women. We're out here doing our thing, making money. The average person is not making $65,000. I don't even think the average person is making $55,000. I looked up recently, like the average Canadian, just all of Canada, makes like $50-something thousand a year. So if you make more than that, you're above average, like into middle class territory. So we are above average in income and below average in common sense when it comes to men. Sisterhood, my sisters, like I'm gonna need us. I'm gonna need us to get this together, because we can't be above average in income and intelligence, and some of us in looks, but below average in common sense when it comes to dick. There ain't a dick that good to make me lose my mind. There is not. I've been blessed to have some good ones, but never any to make me lose my goddamn senses. We gotta do situationships. People are not in relationships. And it could possibly turn into a relationship, but the probability is very low. I didn't even really know what situationships were until a few years ago, and I was like, this is a term. I thought you went from dating to in a relationship. Like, when did this become a thing? Girl, yes, most people are only hitting around. Exactly. Right? And depending, I'm in Toronto, Canada, where honestly, listen, the amount of money it takes, like Toronto is the New York of the United States of America, and Vancouver, Canada is the Los Angeles. Like, to live in Toronto costs a ton of money, and I don't even know how most of us survive. Like, I don't even want to tell you for how much I'm paying for this. Like, I want to say my unit is maybe 500 square feet. I will not even tell you how much I'm paying for 500 square feet, where I know someone right now who lives in Texas, 3-level townhouse, who pays less than I do. Like, it is very expensive to live here. And so I have to work really hard. I have a full-time job. I have a consulting contract. I have private clients. I'm trying to monetize this show. I have books. I just actually got my royalty statement for the books that I have on the market. I have 8 of them. I'm writing a 9th book. Like, your girl is on a hustle. So I can't be on a hustle, on a drive, doing my thing, trying to be this woman who's taking care of everything she needs to do and dating myself. Here's the thing. I was watching a clip on Kendra. Kendra said, and it was so interesting because she was talking to this woman about, this lady was looking for a certain type of man. And she was talking about she was going on a trip in December, and the trip cost about $4,000. And Kendra was, kind of going through this, and she made a comment about, are you looking for a man to date you how you would date yourself? And it was interesting because I don't think the woman had ever thought about it. Okay, this is a good comment, Jubilee. We all live in paycheck to paycheck. We don't have time to play around with men/women. That's not serious about marriage, kids, business, work, wealth, inheritance. Girl, talk about it. Now, the problem is, there's a lot of us that say that, but are opening up our legs at the drop of a dime. In our big age. I'm not talking to, you guys are not 20-something-year-old. This message is for the 20-something-year-old. Because what we do in our 20s, Lord of mercy, we've all had our whole days. Most of us. Right? We had our time, we were learning, we were experimenting, we were figuring it out. But at the big prime age, many of us are in our late 30s, into our 40s, some into our 50s. If we have not learned a lesson by now, it's way too late. So you're out here trying to hustle and build wealth and doing all of that, but just going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it comes to date. Come on, man. Good for you, girl. Amen, hallelujah. Right? Like and I'm sure, Jubilee, that man showed up and was intentional with you. You didn't have to question his intentionality. You didn't have to tell him to be intentional. You didn't have to tell him how to court you. Ladies, we don't have to tell them any of that. So stop going on the internet and giving PSAs to men, telling them how to treat us. They know. They know. They're very clear when they want you. And when they don't show up for you. They use words like, let's link up. If you ever think I would go on any type of date with a man who texted me, DM'd me, sent me a message in a bottle, an email, clouds in the sky, that he used the words, let's link up. I'm sorry, what now? My daddy would spin in his urn. If I was like, oh my God, really? Oh my God, thank you so much. I know I'm gonna have to tell you where I need to go, make the reservations, maybe pick you up, or take myself in an Uber, or what if they, or God forbid, split the bill. My daddy said, by the way, I should never split a bill. Again, rest in peace, Daddy. I don't want to have to do all of that, but sure, I'll hang out with you. I get men who say, Toshiba, I would like to take you out. What is your favorite thing to eat? Or what don't you like to eat? Do you have a favorite restaurant in the city? Okay, this is my schedule for the week. Here's some options. Are you available at any of those times? Yes, you are. Okay, I'll make the reservation and then I'll send you the link so you know where to go. Would you like me to pick you up, or how are you going to get there? Would you like me to send an Uber for you if you're not comfortable with coming out, or would you like me to pick you up? How would you like it to go? That, ladies and gentlemen, is called intentionality. Let's link up means we want to fuck. Julie says, but relationships have problems. You also have to learn how to keep your person and still have your own identity in this confusing world. Amen. And it starts from the very beginning. It starts from the very beginning. This is one of the last things I'm going to say. Ladies, I love you. I do, because I'm clearly one of us. But a lot of us are in relationships with single men. Girl, you're in a one-sided relationship. That man ain't with you. I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry if I'm the first one to tell you that man is not with you. That man that you're doing backflips for and giving him fellatio and eating the booty like groceries, who shows up at your house when it's convenient for him, who has never asked you about your future, who doesn't give a crap about your kids. You're in a relationship with a single man. You determined that you were in a relationship. You know you're in a relationship with a man when he asks you to be in a relationship with him. When he's clear that you're in a relationship. That when he introduces you, he says, this is my woman. That he asks you about the future. That his future includes plans with you. But a lot of us are running around saying relationships that we're not in. Like, because why? Because we went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over some peen. I'm going to do better now, Daddy. Peen. We went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because we had a man sweating on top of us and it was so good. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to have this in my life on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So of course, do you think if they're giving a man sex Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that most of them are going to say no? Oh no, you know what? They gonna make time. And they got all of that without the commitment? How many of you women are going to deny a man paying your bills and not have to give him sex? So a man comes into your life and says, listen, I will pay all your bills. All I want is the pleasure of your company. We don't have to have sex, but I'll make sure that this money is in your bank account and you can live well, and all the money you make, that is yours. That is our agreement. None of us are saying no. None of us. None of us. We get to live this life and not commit to him, not cook and clean and wash his dirty drawers, not iron his clothes, not any of that. Not care. He takes us to nice restaurants and pays our bills. We're not saying no. It's the same way a man is not going to say no to lay on sweat on top of you without a commitment. And honestly, I love you ladies, but you're stupid if you think they're going to. And you're stupid if you think just because you're having sex with a man, that man is with you. And you're stupid if you think that out of all of the tricks that you can pull, pulling out your vagina is going to be the one that wins that man who's never been intentional with you. And you're stupid if you think that you need to tell a man how to be intentional with you. Men do not need a roadmap of how to be men. It's innate. A man does not need to tell us how to be women. It's within us. We either choose to or not to. A man does not need to tell us how to be feminine. We either choose to or not to. It is a choice. And so when a man isn't being intentional with you, he's intentionally made that choice. Thank you, girl. Ladies, I want you. I may be single now. Let me tell you, that man that I was with and previous men that I've been with, those men have loved me in ways I want for all women. They have protected me. They have led me. They've been intentional with me. And lives, right? Lives and things don't work out. But it doesn't mean that those times that I had with those men were not good times. But those things happened for me because I was also intentional with myself. I need a man to be in a relationship with me the way I'm in a relationship with him. I want a man to date me how I date myself. How you date yourself is how a man should date you. And listen, That's important. If you do certain things for yourself, why should you accept less for anybody else? We don't accept less in our workplaces. They have the great resignation in the United States. We are now in a candidates marketplace. You can say if you're going to go hybrid, if you want to be fully remote, if you can say everything. You can say this is what I want, and they're either going to say yes or no. So why do we get dumb for dead? But we know how to negotiate in the boardroom. We know how to negotiate our salary. We know how to be bad and bosses and all of these different things when it comes to us getting our paper. But when it comes to men, we're like, oh, here's a PSA. This is how you treat a woman when you want a good woman. They don't need that. They just don't want you. So get that man out of your space and make space for the ones who are intentional, because we know the difference. And if you've not experienced that, then you need to stop and really consider why. You need to stop and get some therapy, get some counseling, get some something. Because if you don't know the difference between a man who is unintentional and intentional with you by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, baby girl, we need to talk. We really need to talk. So ladies, I love you. But please don't go on the internet anymore and tell men how to be men. Listen, we can talk to women. I'm always going to talk to women. When a man is beside me again, he can talk to the men. So I'm going to talk to y'all ladies, because I want you all to experience the type of love and affection and courting and all of the things I have been blessed to experience that I know is out there. And also, please stop saying black men are not shit, because I don't know what men y'all meeting. You might want to consider whether you're the one who ain't shit, because only ain't shit people attract ain't shit people. Stop it. And here's the thing, words mean a lot. So if you're going around saying this man ain't shit and this man ain't shit and that man ain't shit, guess what? That's what's going to come towards you. The way you speak about yourself and the way you speak about others can be reflected back to you. So if your mindset is men ain't shit, men are going to be nothing, that's what you're going to get. The universe is listening to you. It's going to give you back what it is that you want, because that's what you want. But when you say, you know what, there are amazing men out there, and this is the type of amazing men that I want, and I will not give attention and time and my vagina to men who do not show up in this form, watch and see what happens in your life. You live an entirely different life than one you will with that attitude of this, that, and because the negativity, and you can't have a negative attitude about men, but go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over their dick. There isn't a man in this world. Well, there's maybe a few, but most men are not going to say no to uncommitted vagina. Oh shit, I don't have to give you anything and I get something? Oh damn, I'll take that deal. Ladies, I love you, do better. So I'm done. I actually have to go cook, and I have things to do. I have been going since 6:45 when I got up and went to the gym, and my first meeting was at 8, and my last meeting was at 8. So I've had meetings all day from 8 to 8. So I am going to go make myself a steak and a salad and sit back and enjoy my evening and do this again tomorrow. I love you guys. Jubilee, thank you for your comments. Thank you for everybody who's commented. Sorry if I missed your comment, but please follow me, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're following me on Instagram, please go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. It's also Fuck Your Feelings, the show. If you have any topic suggestions, please let me know. If you'd like to come live with me and have a show with me, I'm also open to collaboration from men and from women. Actually, the CHOP team, if you're still on, we should do something together. I'm actually going to reach out to you to do that. But I love you all. Again, please DM me any thoughts, any ideas you want to collaborate. I'm going to go and have dinner now. So I'm going to say bye to YouTube.